Hi everyone, it's Beverly Cole, but you can call me Bev. Today we're going to finish this little book like I had promised. I've had a few ideas about it. I've been thinking about it on and off all week. So yesterday I opened it up and I put a face in here. Remember I said I was going to save this face? I saved it, but then I tried a different technique to kind of push her back and kind of put this texture over here, and it looks like she's thinking and reminiscing. So I thought it might be fun at first to put a bunch of words all around her. But then this morning I was thinking about the flowers that I've pressed. You know, you wake up in the morning and you think, your mind just kind of wanders while you're laying there in bed before you get up. That's how I think, and that's how I get my best ideas, actually. I was thinking about a garden and how pretty that would be with this cover, to have her in a garden, like thinking back. Maybe we'll add some words, I don't know. But first I wanted to show you how I did this technique right here. I also did it in the magazine here. I tried a few different places. Here, look at that texture. And those are crabs. So you can make the background just beautiful, and you can't even recognize the crabs at all. So I just want to show you. I'll use this to show you. It's light, but let's just see. This is what I used. This is a Deco Art stencil. I got this for $1 in a thrift store, brand new, never used. I'm telling you, the stuff you can find. So I put it underneath the picture, okay? I'm putting it underneath where I want to erase the texture, and I'm using a nail file. But I'm just rubbing it over the surface of this magazine page. So not only am I getting a beautiful texture piece, I'm also taking away the shine on this piece of magazine. Now, it makes some dust. It gets a little messy, so I have just been using a baby wipe. It's messy, but you know, so is glitter, so is embossing powder, so is paint. They're all messy, right? So the best thing to do is just kind of briefly wipe that off, and you get all that color. Maybe this will be something I can use in a collage. Hey, I've done it before. So this is how I made that texture, okay? Now, surprisingly, this stays clean because it's underneath. It doesn't really get dirty. But, you know, if you're concerned, just wipe it off. If you're thinking, you know, if you're cleanaholic, I happen to not be one. So here's my lady. I took her face, I tucked her in, and I glued this down. So this is no longer open to store anything. Of course, you can do whatever you want with it. You can put pockets in it again. But what I did with this book, see how flat it is? So nice and flat. I put it underneath this big English cottage gardening book. Now this is what I pulled out to get some ideas. Oops, here's some of the leaves I pressed early in the year when we were here. I thought it might be fun to put our girl into a garden. There's so many gardens in this book. Oh, there's some more leaves. My problem was that every time I turn a page, I'd see something else on the other side that I just loved. This is gorgeous. That's gorgeous too. I don't want to use that. But see, windows and buildings, just beautiful, beautiful. And this I also got either for $1 or I got it for nothing before. But I want to put a garden in here, so it's got to be big enough. You know, I want it to look kind of dreamy. And I love these pictures. Aren't they cool? They're just so beautiful. But I want to go with color, I think. So let's go back to the very beginning. Let's start at the very beginning. And here we have a beautiful garden. And I think that might be just perfect. English cottage garden. I'm not worried about the book itself. Although I do leave it out on my desk because it is lovely. I'm gonna see what it looks like without the paper cover. It's all right. But I think the cover is just makes it, you know what I mean? We'll put the book back over there, and I'm going to use this. So this is going to be fun. We're just going to cut this to fit. Let me get out my little cutting mat from Dollar Tree. I want to get the house a bit, but I think I also like the path and the gate. I think the path and the gate are like the best part, don't you? So let's see. Let's put her right there. Okay. I'm thinking it might just be easier for me to just not even cut it with a knife. Just cut it a little bit bigger. And it's just gonna butt up against the edges, so. Let's see. That'll do, we don't need that. So just get out my scissors and we'll start cutting. We can trim it to open this up as well. I don't really need those words, so let's see. We're going to, I guess, fold these the other way. Make it the easiest. I should have thought of that first. That's okay. I'm sitting in my RV. It is my second day off. I have 2 days off in a row. And at first I was like, I don't care if they're separated, but you know, I gotta say, it's like my weekend, it's like a little vacay for me. And the first day of our weekend off, George and I have to run errands, of course, because we don't have time during the week to do that. So the first day off, we do that. And then after that day, we do laundry. George is so sweet. He went and did the laundry because I work a little bit more than he does at this job because he's worked hard his whole life. And you know, when I met him, he helped me so much. He helped me to buy my first car before I even married him. He helped me to buy my first car. He co-signed for me because I never owned a car. I was like always, the cars never had my name on them. I was so dumb. But anyway, that's a whole other, whoopsie, I don't want to do that. I almost glued it to the front. All right, so, but now I have to figure out how to cut that open for her. So how am I going to do that, guys? How am I going to do that? Let's see. I have more envelopes. So here we have the same envelope, right? And we don't want to get glue here. I don't know why I put glue all over that. That was not smart. That was not smart. I can make a pattern. Can't I? Yes, I can. I can make a pattern, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut it right here. We are going to make a pattern from another envelope. I'm sacrificing an envelope, I know. That's okay. You know, I've got another envelope. Hi, Jay. I might as well use it. In fact, this will come in handy for something else. I'm sure I'll figure out something to do with that later. So here's my pattern, and it fits right in there. So all I have to do now is go back to the drawing board. Forget the glue, it's already dry. It's just a glue stick, so that's good. But we want this to be our hole where Our Lady will be looking out of, right? So what I'm gonna do here, easy peasy, glue this on, right? How easy can that be? It can't be easier than that. I'm gonna glue my little pattern on and I'm gonna cut it out. Yeah, so if you have, you know, another envelope the same size as what you're using, you can do this. Why not? And it's exactly what I want. Boy, that was so easy. Okay, here's my window. Let me clean it up a little bit. I just got kind of sloppy right there. All right, so now let's see what she looks like. Are you ready? Okay, so she's in the garden and she's reminiscing. So we're gonna do that. I think I need to put a little color around here, around her face. So I'm gonna color our envelope a tiny bit with some Distress Oxide green. Should I do the whole thing? Well, we can add it if I want to later. But for right now, I'm just gonna put it around the outside edge. One of the 3 colors I brought with me. And now we can glue this on. Should I put some ink on there as well? Let's see, why not? We might have to add some gesso. I'm thinking maybe gesso to really work her into that scene. So let's glue this on first. And I think the glue stick's just not really working for me, so I'm gonna use some of the Art Glitter Glue, which has a pin to close it. I've already lost the original pin. This is just one from my sewing box and it works just fine. So let's just put a little tiny bit of glue around here to make sure that it glues down nicely. We don't want that flipping up. Might have been a good idea to put the glue on the envelope because the paper is larger and I don't need to put glue everywhere, do I? Putting glue around the edges of the envelope now, where I should have before. Now we will put this here. And because it's larger, I can fiddle with it a little, fiddle a little. I love her hand showing. She's thinking and dreaming. I just love that. I think that's really, really cool. But this edge isn't working as well. It's kind of showing where she is cut, and I don't want to show that. So we'll try to fit this the best we can here. Okay, that's better. Here's our front. And this little piece here is a little bit funky, but you know, it's handmade, so really it works for me. I'm going to trim. Yeah, so on these 2 days that we have off, the first day we do our chores, we run around, we do things that we need to get done, laundry, groceries, stuff like that. And then we come home, and by the time we get home, it's around 3. Yesterday we ate at Martha's, which is right across the street from Great Escape. Great Escape, Six Flags Great Escape. Very popular place, delicious ice cream, but the prices of food now, holy moly. I mean, we had cheesesteaks with fries and soda, and it cost us almost $36. I mean, you were like, what? She's like, I know, but that's just how it is. Everything seems to have gotten twice the price of what it used to be. And that's what's so great about having things you can repurpose. Now, don't get me wrong, I buy stuff. The problem is I watch these people on YouTube, and I'm such a sucker for what they use, because I'm an artist, so, you know, I'm like, well, George plays golf, right? So why shouldn't I have some nice new art supplies, especially since I left everything home? But the thing is, I don't want to repeat what I already have, because why would I want to do that? Then I have twice as much of the same thing when I go home, and I don't need that. Here I have a cover. I saved the covers from yogurts, etc., and I use them for little palettes. I'm going to put a little bit of gesso on a palette. I'm going to dry brush this. I'm going to put some gesso between her and the garden. I want to build it up a little bit around these edges so that it stays stuck down, and then we can kind of wear it away into the garden like that. And I think I might want to put some around the edges as well, making it kind of dreamy. So we've learned 2 ways to remove the shine from a magazine: by sanding it, and you can remove it by gesso. There are other ways. I just put that brush in my water. Now I'm using the same baby wipe I wiped the dust off with. So get the most out of your baby wipes. And then I'm just kind of blending this in with the baby wipe, because we want to see the garden. And now I'm thinking, I'm going to clean this eye off a little. I got kind of heavy-handed there with the sanding and the paint. But there we see her face. Yes, we see her face. Right, we see her face. I'm going to pick up a little more gesso with my finger. Kind of just bring it into the corners. I've said this before, I like the vignette type thing with the corners that are finished like that. It gives you this look like she's in a dream. I think that really is effective. I think I'm going to add more. Yeah, I like that. Looks like a dream, right? Sure. Here we have a dreamscape. A dreamscape. Do we need more gesso here? Yes. I believe so. It adds to the dreamscape, almost like she's looking through a hole into the past. I like it. I like it a lot. What bothers me is this eye. This eye really bothers me. But that's okay. I think it's just me. When you see it, it's you can tell it's an eye, right? Your brain interprets it as her other eye. What if we added some green also? Pick up the green in the garden over some of that white. I I like it. Still comes across as dreamy. Just kind of picking out the flowers, maybe the gate, certain things that I want to stand out, the house, you know, like that, the flowers, the gate. What do you think? Right now, we're gonna put this aside. I also made a tag, not finished. I was using that piece of dress with all the lines that we had in the last video and some of these beautiful Swarovski crystals. I also have this face that I saved. So with the faces in this one, then I have this face. What if we put her on the cover, open it up and it's a dream? I think I'm going to do that. Let me cut her face out. What I'm trying to show you is the different ways to use magazine. So we are going to cut her out, just her face, just her face. Now remember, we need to do something to change these so they don't look like the person in the picture. Let's use a little bit of that same technique that we used inside. Get my stencil, put her over my stencil, and we will give her a little bit of lacy hair. Lacy hair. I want to do lacy glasses. You can also use a little piece of sandpaper, which I don't have because I'm here in my RV with what I have. So I'm just going to clean that off a little. There we go. And we can put her on the cover. Make sure it's the right direction, and I'm going to put her right there. First glue. Let's make sure again, okay. Front of the book, right in the middle. Come on, glue. Don't want to stick to my gesso. In which case, matte medium might be the better solution. So I can cover this with matte medium later. There's our girl. Cool, cool. We're going to add a little color. I don't know if I want to use green this time. I'm going to use some frayed burlap. It's a little bit more brown. Just go around the edges of her. I could also rub some gesso around the edges, right? Let's do that. And the dream begins here. The dream is beginning here. I'm not going to put the gesso around the bottom of her face. I'm only going to put it around the top because I want it to look dreamlike. A little bit of that Distress Oxide ink. I usually end up using my fingers at some point because I love the textures. It's a God-given tool. It's a God-given tool. Our fingers. God gave us 10 of them. Well, 8 of them and 2 thumbs, if we're gonna get technical. Rubbing that in, grab that baby wipe that's starting to dry out, just to remove some around her mouth and her eyes. Okay. Don't really care for this. It looks like a beard, but let's just do it around her whole face so it doesn't look so much like a beard. Okay, and then I want to put a little more down here. I want that chin to disappear a bit. The chin is not important to my story. I can kind of make it disappear. Why not? Let's make her face disappear, the edges disappear. I'm really starting to have fun with this. And that's what this is all about, playing. playing and having fun. A little strange, but that's okay. So there's my story outside. Here's my girl inside with the wrinkles in time. I think I need to add some black lines to her face. Let me get out a Sharpie. I don't want to color in her entire eye. I just want to make sure you can tell that they are eyes. So I put some black there and some black there. Add some brown. So you could add and add and add to this. I'm trying to bring her out a little more. Maybe bring this side of her face out more with this brown ink. That looks cool. And then over here where I colored in her eye, a little more brown too. Cool. Cool. Out here, I'm gonna use some, these are my 3 colors I brought. How crazy is that? Who would bring orange? Me! Let's just add a little orange. Just to make her stand out a little bit on the cover. And I think I want some kind of word. This is really bothering me. Wrinkles. Wrinkles in time. And here's the back. So I'm thinking maybe on the back we'll just put some orange around the edges just to make, you know, bring it back into the design. Maybe put some green or frayed burlap. Let's do frayed burlap in the middle. And we have really changed this book from what we started with. I'm going to also put the frayed burlap around the edges of the front. So just sit down with your stuff and play. I think what I need to do now is add some kind of words. Now I didn't bring any of the Tim Holtz words, but yesterday I cut out some from the magazine, so you can go Tiny Slice of Paradise. That might work. That's what I'm going to use. A tiny slice of paradise. I want to cut, because she's in a sharp edged area, I can leave the sharp edges around this and it looks fine. I'm just going to give it a little bit of sanding just to make it blend in a little more. You can still read it like that. I'm going to put some more ink around those edges. Whatever's left on my sponge, I've got a mixture of all 3 colors. I don't really care. I'm just going to put it in there. Should I put it up here or put it down here? I think I want to put it down here, or maybe on the cover. Tiny Slice of Paradise. And then have you open it up. I think we're going to do that. Okay. Some glue. Sorry if I'm off camera or out of frame, as they say. I like things straight, but sometimes I do like to put them on an angle. It changes the entire look. I want to put with my finger orange on our glasses. There, a tiny slice of paradise, and you open it up, and there she is. Not the best job I've ever done, but she's in the garden, right? And then on the back, you could do something else. I have this tag that I made, and I could just, you know, could add it here over her eye. Wait a second. I think I might want to do that. Oh, put it like this and then put something else on this. Yeah, because I'm not happy with that eye. Let's put some of this green around it. Now this has also been sanded a bit, but not a lot. So the middle is still shiny. So I think I'll just pick up a little bit of gesso on my finger and kind of rub that out so it looks more aged. Why not? That looks pretty good so far, I guess. And it needs, yeah, it's gonna go here. I'm gonna put a string through it, and then we'll put, this is a tiny slice of paradise, and inside we'll put something else. So here it is, our little slice of paradise, the dreamer. As I was poking around, I thought I could maybe put it in here. I could attach it to a page. I could put it behind a belly band so that you can actually take it out and look at it. But if it's glued in, that's okay too. You just open it up and look at it that way. It's not the best job I've ever done, but it was an experiment, and I think it was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.